Hello. I am not some mad woman that's going to sit here and rant and rave. However, I am a tired woman, and I'm very tired. I'm tired of being tired. Now, let me tell you why I'm tired. I'm tired because of the circumstances that's going on from day to day. And those circumstances are our system needs to be fixed when it comes to the mental health system. There's a crisis in America, and we as the public need to be aware of this crisis. Now, let me tell you who I am. I am Louise Hicks. I am the host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, where we broadcast every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Time in Hollywood, California at Global Voice Broadcasting Network. I am also an award-winning author, as well as a professional public speaker. But most importantly, I am the mother of 3 beautiful adult children. And the reason I'm on here speaking to you now is because of one of my 3 children by the name of David. David was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer at the age of 14 in 1995 and went on to suffer depression and drug addiction. In fact, he inspired my award-winning book, and he inspired me to be doing what I'm doing today. Now, I'm talking to you because in May, we celebrated Mental Health Awareness Month. Why are we celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month when we aren't doing anything about mental health? And I say we aren't doing anything not only because we need to take personal responsibility as the masses of people, but we need to make our politicians accountable to us about what is going on with the mental health crisis in America. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about this situation. We've been hearing day in and day out about gun control, gun control, gun control, because of the mass murdering that happened in Oregon on October 1st, 2015. And today is October 5th, 2015. And I want to share with you some additional information about legal drug control that's never talked about in mainstream media. When we hear our politicians out talking, they don't talk about legal drug control. They talk about gun control. A gun has never walked and picked itself up and shot anybody. However, studies have shown that drugs create violence, and with all the many side effects of the pharmaceutical drugs, there is an issue here that needs to be addressed, and that is, what is the root cause of all of this violence that's going on in America? Now, let me quickly share with you something else here. This was a study that was in LA Times, and it says that based on a new study published in a respected medical journal, PLOS Medicine, which found young adults between the ages of 15 to 24 were nearly 50% more likely to be convicted of a homicide, assault, robbery, arson, kidnapping, sexual offense, and other violent crimes when taking an antidepressant than when they weren't taking a psychiatric drug. Now, that's huge, really huge. So we need to start thinking, and I'm talking to the public now, because our politicians seem to not be listening to us and what we have to say. And I'll tell you why I say that. I wrote a letter to Senator Dianne Feinstein of the state of California, the state that I am a resident of, and I am a citizen of the United States of America. And I had also spoken with my city councilman in the city of Downey, California. I attempted to speak with my board of supervisor representatives Supervisor Kanabi. They kept promising me that they would speak with me. I kept being blown off. I attempted to speak with the homeless supervisor over the homeless people, the population in Los Angeles that has the greatest homeless street population in the United States, Supervisor Antonovich. They blew me off. So I'm here speaking to the public because of this. I wrote to the President of the United States, President Obama. I never heard anything back from him. I wrote to Governor Brown of the state of California. I never heard anything back from his office. I've written to my California legislators. I haven't heard anything back. So now, after writing Senator Dianne Feinstein, I got a letter back last week. And when I read the letter, I was appalled. It was an eye-opener. And the reason I say that is because the letter was written to me as if they never read the letter that I wrote to them, or if they did, it was completely ignored. Now, why do I think they ignored the letter? Probably because they see us as the masses as a bunch of apathetic idiots. And I got on the phone the next day and I called Senator Feinstein's office and I spoke to the legislative correspondent there, who informed me, after looking at my letter, glancing it over, that it was a mistake. However, I don't believe that. The reason I don't believe it is because the letter was addressed to me, and it was about the mental health crisis here, where I had asked in my correspondence, why can't, after 20 years of dealing with this system, the broken system here in the state of California, attempting to get my son some help, and here I am 20 years later, and I cannot get the help that he needs, because this system is driven by the psychiatric industry. I have been insulted by psychiatrists because what they say is the law prevents them from giving us information. And we have these HIPAA laws. We have a law of 1967. They're dealing with 20th century laws with 21st century challenges. How can we get anything done when we are viewed as the public as a bunch of apathetic idiots by our legislators that we keep electing over and over and over? I voted for Senator Feinstein. I voted for Supervisor Kanabi. I voted for the mayor of Downey, who said that he couldn't do anything because everything is governed by the county of Los Angeles, who they go to for their jurisdiction. Now, while we're talking about gun control, why don't we talk about legal drug control and getting help for the people here? And I want to read something with you right quick about one drug, the drug that my son started on, which was Zoloft, when he became depressed at the age of 14. Who wouldn't be when you're diagnosed with a rare bone cancer at 14 and you're very bright, vibrant, and had no issues whatsoever? It says Zoloft, sertraline, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is an antidepressant in a group of drugs called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Sertraline affects chemicals in the brain that may become unbalanced and cause depression, panic, anxiety, or obsessive compulsory symptoms. Some young people have thoughts about suicide when first taking an antidepressant. Report any new or worsening symptoms to your doctor, such as mood or behavior changes, anxiety, panic attacks, trouble sleeping, or if you feel impulsive, irritable, agitated, hostile, aggressive, restless, hyperactive, mentally or physically more depressed, or have thoughts about suicide or hurting yourself. And I looked up Seroquel, the same for that one. So we need to go ahead and do something. I started a Go Mental for Change campaign that was launched in May. Now what I want to do is ask you to join me as the public in this fight to help fight and go mental. I have a Facebook page called Go Mental for Change. I have a website called www.gomental4change.com. I want you to go on the website and the pages and join this initiative so that we can get some legal drug control here. And the things that we want to accomplish are: one, Congress to launch a federal investigation into the pharmaceutical drugs and their toxic and dangerous impact upon the mind and brain with debilitating effects. That's number one. After we get that through, we have some other steps that we'd like them to take, like treating the mentally ill with dignity and stop calling them dirt bags and all of these negative names when these drugs have such a debilitating effect. And I know my son would like to say one or two things. So go ahead, Ken, and say.
Well, just really quick, join the Go Mental initiative. Mental illness is an epidemic, along with all other health matters, but mental illness, the mind, is a terrible thing to waste. So get on board with this particular challenge here. I am the co-host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, along with my mom. Go mental. Go Mental for Change. Number 4 on Facebook. That is the page that we want you to go to. We will be putting information out there. And the main thing is to get this initiative on change.org so that we can get a federal investigation into what these drugs are doing to people when about 70% of our population is on drugs. There's something wrong here, people. So let's have a legal drug control. And also, the gun control is fine, but we need a legal drug control as well. So let's go mental. Again, I am Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show. Thank you. And I am your host and co-host, Kenan Mason, and we do thank you, and we will go mental. Thank you.